I just picked up Captain Chords this weekend after long hesitation, but seeing all the endless ads for version 3 and the money-back guarantee, I thought it was definitely worth checking out. And I'm happy to say I've discovered some interesting features to it that I haven't seen demonstrated in any other videos. Obviously, here I'm on a Mac, and I've got it set up, Captain Chords set up as an AU MIDI effect on 3 different channels. I'm not going to give a general overview of how the thing works besides the basic fact that you need to open up Captain Chords first, and then you can switch to Captain Deep and Captain Melody and connect those to it so that they'll all work together. The reason I've set this up as a MIDI effect is that I want to use my own plugins. So here for Captain Chords, I've got Keyscape set to a piano sort of sound. Captain Deep, the bass part, set to an Omnisphere Martin acoustic bass. Captain Melody also set to another Omnisphere, I think it's called Glorious Steel. Just by hitting play with nothing established anywhere except the default in Captain Chords, you can hear that we've got both the basic default chord, I started in A minor, and the bass going. And you notice I've also got Logic set up so that when I switch to between the various tracks, just by clicking on them, the relevant Captain Chords GUI pops up, and we don't see the plugin GUI. So anyway, we can pick a progression. So I'll switch over to the bass here. Sounds much better in the second octave. Okay, so this is a lot of fun to do, just switching back and forth, setting up some background. But the cool thing is when we switch to the melody section, I'll stretch this out so we get our full 8-bar loop. All the ads and tutorials I've seen up to date focus on this idea tool, which is interesting, but it's far more interesting, I think, to check out this brush tool. So you can just throw in notes anywhere you want, and you can select different note lengths. But you can also switch over to any of these patterns here. So we could select one of these. And notice we can allow polyphony, but even if we haven't allowed polyphony, you can sort of get the same thing, even without that checked. And we can switch to a different custom pattern. If you don't like something, just right click on it. If you want to move something, switch to the move here, and you can of course select anything with an area selected. You've got a choice to convert that to an idea box, but you can also just hit delete and go back to the brush and pick something else. So anyway, I find this totally fun and fascinating. And of course, you can, from any of these interfaces, you can switch from the verse, which is the default starting place, and start all over again. So it makes sense to go back to Captain Chords, which is now also in the pre-chorus setting, and pick a new progression. Pencil is a kind of one at a time tool. Interesting, but this brush is totally sweet. With any of the tools, there's a lengthen function, which seems to Well, I'm sure you get the idea. The only problem here is that it's difficult to record this as it's going along, as you're playing. The only real option you have is to drag these different sections out, the MIDI out to the track you want, which kind of spoils the whole flow that I'm enjoying here, which is basically improvising, just interacting with the interface to throw in new possibilities and hear what things sound like, and switch between them whenever I want. So in my case, there's an easy alternative, my case meaning on a Mac, and given that I've got a few other DAWs besides Logic, recording 3 MIDI tracks at once and with the same instruments. So these are all, there's no Captain anything on any of these tracks. So I've got live hosting the Captains here. We've got Captain Chord on the first track, and then a MIDI from Captain Chords down here set to send to the Mac's IAC driver, channel 1, Captain Deep, IAC driver, channel 2, Captain Melody, IAC driver, channel 3. And then I've got the 8-bar loop going. So if I start this, here's the same exact setup running inside live, but as you can see, the volume is off on all these instances of the Captain, and there are no plugins set up in Live. Instead, over here in Logic, all 3 tracks are receiving those, so I can simply hit record and let this roll along while I play inside Live. So all of that stuff that I'm doing is here captured. Totally ready to be edited just as it was played. No dragging, no dropping at all. Congratulations on version 3, and I'm totally looking forward to whatever else the Captain team comes up with. It's great stuff.